we have started the chapter Basics of Operating System. Into that first part of this chapter, we have studied about operating system, its basic concepts. Basic concepts means how it is working. Then we have seen the role of operating system, where what are the roles it has. Then why we need operating system. In the second part today, we are going to study about operating systems with its components, right? Then functions of operating system, device drivers, types of operating system, as well as common operating system. So we should start this one. So to start, first we will see operating system. And operating system, as we know, it is an interface between user and the hardware, so that a user communicates with the hardware and vice versa, hardware communicates with the user and performs its task. So as per the components, we see it has two components, the shell and the kernel. The shell part, it is responsible for interacting with the user. Operating system's shell part, it is to communicate with the users, right? How it communicates? It gets the commands, instructions, everything from the user. What command we are going to put, what instruction we are going to the system, it is captured by this shell. Then it translates the commands or instructions into machine language. The shell part, it converts our language, high level language, into machine language. Also it passes the translated command to the kernel. Means this shell, it receives the commands and instructions from us, then converts these commands and instructions into machine language, then passes it to the kernel part. So kernel part actually it is the core part of the operating system, because it functions at its basic level, that is, actually it is communicating with hardware and managing all the resources of the computer, the resources mainly CPU and memory. The complete part it is managing, communicating with the hardware, this kernel part. By these two, shell and kernel, your operating system has been created, right? And kernel, what function it performs? It manages communication between user and the hardware. Means the shell only receives the commands and all, converts this into machine language, while kernel, it manages communication between user and the hardware. So it is responsible for some work. What are the work? We will see in the next part. That is function of OS. So if we see the function of operating system, it comes under three categories. What are these categories? Essential functions, monitoring function, and service function. What are these essential, monitoring, and service functions? Essential functions, it is just to ensure effective utilization of computer system resources. Means computer resources, how it has to be effectively utilized by the computers, that is essential function. Monitoring function, monitor and collect information for the performance of the system. And the service function, it enhances the facilities provided to the user. The three parts, they have got different functions, right? Essential, monitoring, and service. Now, other than this, our operating system, it has some major functions. What are the major functions that we will see? First one is processor management. Actually, it allocates an important computer resource, that is CPU, to various running programs or applications. Means it gives the task to CPU to run various programs or applications. That is also known as the process. This is the function of OS. It prepares, schedules, controls and monitors jobs or processes submitted by the user for execution effectively, right? So processor management means your OS, it manages your CPU for running various applications, program to perform some activity. Second is your memory management. Again, OS, it manages another crucial resources, that is memory. How memory should run the process and deallocates memory from the process. This is the work of OS, right? Means whenever we are the computer is going to do some process, this OS uses memory. The processing takes place in the memory side. Input also it stores over there, processing takes place, then output also stores over there. It allocates the part of the memory for this process. After completion of the process, it deallocates the memory of the computer from the processing, right? Next is your file management. It governs the permanent storage and retrieval of data. File management from an external storage devices, right? Actually, file management, proper saving of data at appropriate location, means where the data has to be stored and from where the data has to be retrieved. Everything related to the file, it is managed with the help of OS. This is your file management. Next is your device management. All the devices, whether internal or external, whatever devices, input output devices you are going to use, these ensures smooth reading of data from input devices and sending the data to correct output devices. This is managed by your operating system. Suppose I have prepared a notes in Word. Now I want to see it on your screen, but as we are going to get the output on the screen, it is giving us from the printer. This is wrong. So what process we are going to do for the devices? Suppose I need printout. Then when we click on the printer option, this operating system, it will manage the printer. The device it is managing, and the work which has been allotted to the printer, it will give you the printout through your printer. This is your device management. Next is user interface. Now, it means of communication between user and their computer system. Actually, it forms or establishes a standard means of communication, right? Means standard set of commands it has got, and that controls the hardware part of the computer. That is user interface. Means what hardware has to be involved in any type of processing, that is managed by our operating system. Next, device driver. This is very important part, students. A group of files that enable one or more hardware devices to communicate with the computer's operating system, that is known as device driver. Why we need device drivers? Because whatever the hardware device you are going to attach with your computer, it will tell you that this device has been attached. Now after attaching this hardware, how it will work? To work this hardware, we need its driver. As in the case of students, I am telling you, you are having car. How it will run? It will need a driver, right? So for running any of the hardware, we need its driver. Drivers, they are having files. That files, it enables that hardware, so that that hardware can communicate with the computer system. Whatever the command it has got through the user, it has to perform that task. That is the use of device driver. We need it just to install and have proper communication with the devices. We need it, right, students? Next, we are moving towards types of operating system. There are so many types of operating system, right? So different operating systems we will see: single user, multi-program, time sharing, real time, multi-processing, distributed. These types of operating systems we are having, and it requires different type of hardware to run upon. It doesn't mean all the type of operating system it will run on the same type of system. They require different type of system. One by one we will see the types of operating system. If we single user operating system, that the name is suggesting single operating system, it is single user, right? So a single user can perform, or single user is supported by this type of operating system, right? As in the case of MS-DOS, your mobile phone's operating system. Have you seen any time the same mobile phone is used by two persons for different activities? No, because that is single user operating system having, right? This is categorized into two types, single user. One is single task and second is single user but multitasking. Both we will see, right? Single user means runs only single application, as your mobile OS. Anyone at a time, only a single application you can use. MS-DOS, again single user. Multitasking means more than one applications can be run at the same time, or we can say multiple applications can be run, right? As your Windows, the best example. At the same time you can work in Word, you can watch video, you can use internet, you can listen to music. Means more than one task you can do, right? This is your multitasking, right? Windows, Mac, Linux, Leopard, these are the multitasking. Next is multi-program. It supports multi-programming. That is, more than one user can be supported by it. As in the case of Unix, Linux, IBM version is AS400. These are the operating systems where more than one user can work at the same time, right? Next is time sharing OS. It uses the time sharing technique. Each active user program is given a fair share of CPU time. If the time elapses or input output operation is requested, always CPU shift over the next job waiting. Means next job waiting में चला जाता है और प्रीवियस प्रोग्राम वेट पर रख दिया जाता है. जैसे ही इनपुट आउटपुट मैनेजर handles it, as the active program are scheduled for execution, the job scheduling technique it starts. As in the case of BSD Unix, in that we used to put the queue of the operations. As soon as the first operation completed, second starts and move on to complete. Likewise. Now next is real time OS. The jobs have fixed deadlines and the jobs have to be completed within their deadlines, right? So in this case, system performance is measured by its ability to complete its job within the specified deadlines, like RT Linux. As in the case, suppose it has been given to you the task that this work you have to complete within 3 days, right? And if you are performing the task, then you comes under the category of real time, means you have utilized your time and you performed your work on time. Multiprocessing, as the name is suggesting, you can perform more than one job. For that, more than one processors has been used. As in the case of the servers, railway server, your airways server, are so many servers, Rediff server, Yahoo server, these all they work on more than one processor. Normally into this Unix, Linux or Windows, if we are using its network version NT we use, so that it gives a platform through which more than one user can perform their activity at the same time. That is known as multiprocessing. Next is your distributed. It is generally used to design or it has been designed in the way to share its workload over multiple servers. Means it shifts its load to different locations or different servers, right? Suppose I have got a task to complete it, but the task is too heavy, it cannot be completed on time. I have divided these tasks into 10 different people. Now with the help of these 10 people and myself, 11 persons, we will complete the task. That is known as distributed OS. Means your working, it has been distributed so that the task can be performed on time. Now students, we will see operating system based on type of interfaces. Now interfaces means how it is going to communicate with user and the hardware. As per that communication, we will see the operating system. It has been categorized into two. One is command line and the second is interactive. First we will see command line operating system or interface. This command line interface into which we have to learn the command, we have to write the command. After writing the command, when we give click on enter key, then this set of commands, they will start executing and we are going to get result. As in the case of earlier MS-DOS or the Unix, there we have to learn the commands. After writing the commands for a specific task, when we press enter, the task starts, means the command activates and the processing starts and we were getting the result. Second is interactive. Interactive means how we are going to interact with the hardware, right? The user, how are we can see interaction between user and computer, how it is going to be done, right? Then this is, in this we are not going to learn the command, we are not typing the command, but our work is performed. That is interactive interface. It has been divided into two, that is graphical user interface and touch screen interface. Graphical user interface are those interface in which when we are going to do any task, to do any of the tasks, we have to click on particular icon. After clicking on the particular icon, it starts working and we are getting the process. As in the case, suppose you have to write an application. What will you do? You will click on the icon Microsoft Word. After that, you will start writing this one. Then it will to format your text, you will use different menus, its options to format it. Means this, we can say, graphical interface, it has got four features, mainly four features. One is the windows, means every icon or every software, if you are going to open, it opens in a window. Then it has got menus, you can see different menus over there. Then icons, on your desktop you are getting icons, or in the software you are getting different buttons, that are, they are the icons. And the pointers, whenever you are moving your mouse anywhere, you are getting pointer, or in your work area to write something, you are having pointer, right? So this is interactive one. Next is your graphical user interactive interface. Next is your touch screen. Touch screen means you are not going to write any command, you are not going to point, only you have to touch the icon. As in the case of Android phones, you can say, right? You have to touch the icon only and it starts working. Windows 8 and Windows 10, it is meant for this touch panel only. Whenever we are going to install these windows on our touch panel computers, means we are not going to use our keyboard or mouse, just we have to touch the panel, right? Android also, iOS also, these are meant for the PDA technology, right? Next we will see what commonly used operating system we are having, right? First one is your Linux. Linux, in it is most popular operating system because it is open source and license free, right? It is license free software and open source. That's why earlier it was used up too much, right? This Linux is a part of web server, that is LAMP, L-A-M-P. L for Linux, A for Apache, M for MySQL, and PHP is for P. So this LAMP, from that LAMP, one part is your Linux. Next is your Windows. Windows, most of we are using Windows, which has got four important features, that is Windows, icon, menus and pointer. Means we are not going to write any command, we are not going to learn the command, we are not going to type the command, only we have to click on the icon and work performs. Windows, because everything it is in the form of icons, windows, menus and pointer. Next is a BOS. BOS means Bharat Operating System Solution. This Linux, it is also free one and Indian distribution, right? It consists of Linux operating system, that is kernel, office application software suite, internet access software suite like Firefox, then Thunderbird means email services, Pidgin, that is chat services, file sharing, converter, multimedia applications, all it is using, right? The desktop environment and applications have been localized to enable the use of Indian language. That's why in any part of the India, the person can use their own local language and they can use BOS operating system. Next is Solaris, developed by Sun Microsystem. Sun Microsystem, whose Java is most popular software, right? Solaris, it is free Unix based OS, right? This is also a free. Next we are moving towards mobile OS. What mobile OS? Nowadays every hand they are having mobile phones. Most of the places we are getting Android because they are easy to use, right? Android, this is Linux based platform, mainly used for mobile phones, right? Google and Open Handset Alliance (OHA), with a coalition of hardware, software, and telecommunication companies, they developed the Android so that with the help of hardware installed, they used to install software. With the help of hardware and software communication technologies, they are being used in our Android. They are also touch OS. Next, in earlier days, onto our Nokia phone, we were using Nokia smartphones, we were using Symbian operating system, right? But it has got limitation that 2.5 or 3G data it can run on, right? Next is Windows Phone. Now, Microsoft collaborated with Nokia to generate their Windows Phone. As in the case of Windows on our computer, to work with it, it's very easy task. But when we are moving towards Windows in our cell phone, it becomes very tough, because whatever the options we are using, they are not properly used in the Windows operating system in cell phone. That's why it was a failure one. Next is your Apple iOS. Apple iOS, it is mean for the devices which are from the Apple, right? Like iPhone, iPod, iPad. These all they use iOS, Apple iOS, right? Next is your RIM BlackBerry. Have you heard about the name BlackBerry? That BlackBerry sets, they are known as the best set for office communications, are running the complete office on the cell phone, right? So this BlackBerry OS, it was used over there, and we can easily set our complete office, including mail and uh, Outlook, everything we can set up easily in our BlackBerry one. Now we will see the file system. As in the case of students at our home, in our drawer we keep our clothes in stacks. Shoe rack, again